We just walked in, asked we just asked him if we could film. We were uni students trying to do a project,
Okay,
and
yeah.
he was like, "Yeah, just as long as we get a credit in the video."
Pass me by. Some get so serious, some are really funny. What are you waiting for? Come and get this honey. It's absolute bedlam, absolute bedlam, absolute bedlam. Join the hype, like and subscribe.
Hello and welcome to a very nasally, very blocked nose version of Absolute Bedlam podcast. I have this constant fear, James, now where I don't know if you've seen Friends, but there's an episode where Phoebe records like a super high production version of Smelly Cat,
Yeah, I've seen that
and
one.
she can only do it when she's got a cold.
What are they feeding you? This chick sounds good.
And I fear
Yeah.
that this episode's going to be like, we want Ben to be ill for the next. But maybe that's
You
just
never
me
know.
being a bit of a narc. But yeah, all is well. So yeah, how's your day been? Are you well? All good?
Yes, it's been very good. Yeah, just went to a networking event. Yeah, it was
Okay.
good fun.
Is that strictly music or is that just professional development or
Yeah, yeah, music touring industry based
okay,
kind of
sweet.
thing. Yeah.
Is that in Manchester?
Yeah, it was at the AO
Yeah.
Arena.
You guys get quite a lot, don't you, I suppose? We'll get into that in a
Yeah.
minute. First question I tend to ask most guests
hmm
is how did you find school?
School, I'd say high school didn't I didn't really enjoy, to be fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't find it the most enjoyable thing, but looking back on it and understanding the significance of it, but college I found to be a lot more fun.
yeah, yeah. Did you find yourself at school confiding to a certain clique, or did were you a bit of a nomad? Were you a bit of a renegade? And did you sort of circle many different stereotypes?
Yeah, I sort of trying to conform to a group of people,
Yeah,
find your place somewhere. And so I was sort of embracing like my alternative side whilst also being
yeah,
sort of like amongst like a chavvy sort of get
yeah,
up, you could say.
yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Have you? This is completely random. Have you heard of a band called Confessions of a Traitor?
No, I haven't.
I've had them on maybe once or twice now, and they kind of fit that sort of narrative, like Korn, where
Yeah.
they're like heavy metal, but they wear like tracksuits and if you go around their house, they're not going to be wearing jeans. They're going to be wearing, like sporty clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a drummer, I think that's really important physically. I know the drummer of Megadeth, he used to wear a tracksuit when he played live.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that on like a live DVD and being like, "What?" Like, "Oh wow, that's so
Yeah.
cool." It makes sense though.
Yeah.
Awesome. School-wise, last question on this. Can you remember anything mental that happened, anything crazy, anything naughty, either from yourself or someone else at your school?
Wow. I remember final year in high school had a couple moments. There was one that I did where completely innocent at first, but I brought ghost chili peppers
Let's go.
into into high school for people to try,
Yeah,
as much as I was against what my mum told me to do. And
yeah.
yeah, a couple of people got a bit ill, they could you could say from that.
It's like such a like American movie type thing, like American Pie or something, where you put all
Yeah.
the chilies in like a big soup or something, and then everyone just slowly starts like melting. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
the head of year was not happy with me, that's for
Nice.
sure.
Did they know it was you as well? There was no hiding.
Oh yeah, my one of my
Okay.
mates said my name right out.
Yeah, yeah. Oh God. Fair enough. Okay. Awesome. Core memory unlocked, begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Um, as a guitarist in, is it free bands?
Yes, yeah. Two bands and one sort of solo project, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. So I've listened to a lot of Intake. I
Yes.
really like it. I haven't actually gotten around to listening to your other band yet. because this episode actually happened quite quickly,
Yeah.
believe it or not. Because usually I book guests like 7 or 8 months in advance, and then I go,
Yeah.
oh, I should probably listen to their music. This is what having a stacked schedule looks like sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I checked out your YouTube channel. I've subscribed to it as well.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Jefferson is 1 month
Mm.
old. It seems
Yeah.
like a real mix. Your channel. It's obviously all very band related and music related,
Yeah.
but I really like the fact that you do drum cams.
Yes. Yeah. That was one of the first things we wanted to make sure we get on for content.
Yeah. With the Mr. Jefferson music video, how did you manage to film that in an actual shop? What sort of hoops did you have to jump through behind the scenes to get that up and running?
As long as you don't follow me.
Honestly, the shop was just local to us, and so
Yes.
we just walked in. Asked we just asked him if we could film. We were uni students trying to do a project,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he was like, "Yeah, just as long as we get a credit in the video."
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Do you now go into that shop and think, oh, that's where I played that riff near the McVitie's,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Sometimes I do. The guy still recognizes me.
Yeah, yeah. I like the fact that you do BTS as well, because I feel like if you're not recording your studio experience or, how this is made, a lot of people like that. Sometimes it feels like people like that more than the actual content and the actual music.
Yeah, it's
Um,
another entertainment factor, isn't it?
yeah, and you've got like a slight sort of reaction type video, which is grunge drummer Here's Bowls for the
Oh
first time.
yes. Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's quite cool. I remember listening to Foles, and they did a really, really cool song. I'll have to check it out. I can't remember what it's called now, but it had a really dirty riff at the end, and it really threw me off.
Yeah.
Something to do with
Nice.
fire, I think it was. But I was like, I
Mm.
think they played Glastonbury or something, and I saw it on
Yeah.
TV. But who else is in intake? Who are the other members?
So we've got Alex on the vocals and rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
We've got Will on the drums and Aaron on the bass.
And what sort of genre would you say you are? Obviously, don't pigeonhole yourself because that's usually one of the worst questions to ask someone, but I'd say
Yeah,
it's
we
quite sort of grungy and quite sort of sad boy in air quotes, a lot
yeah.
of that nowadays, isn't there? Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, grunge definitely is sort of the main focus of it. We
Yeah.
got a bit of especially with how modern grunge is, it's sort of blending shoegaze and hardcore into it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there any other bands like you around your local area?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
We're all friends, basically like proper network together and like to
Yeah.
help each other out.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because sometimes it can feel like you're sort of swimming around just by yourself and you end up going on these weird like variety bills where
Yeah.
you've got like a pop punk band, a jazz band, and a grunge band. And if someone's
Yeah.
up for that, obviously if they buy a ticket, then they'll probably go. But sometimes it can feel a bit like Variety Hour, like Jules Holland,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Awesome. With the Mr. Jefferson song, it's quite short. Was that like a conscious effort for you to make a short, snappy video, music song, sorry.
No, not initially. We that was just the how the song came together originally. We got when we were going into the studio, we had the rhythm section done first,
Yeah.
and then went over on top, and we've changed the song up since, so it
Okay.
is longer now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just sort of how it fell together.
Mm. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because I remember, I think my son, Casper, was really into Youngblood.
Yeah,
And some of his songs are literally like 1 minute and 40 seconds.
yeah,
And I thought to myself, this is that TikTok generation where everything has to be so immediate.
yeah,
So it's better sometimes to release like a short, snappy banger versus a 6 minute epic, you
yeah.
know. And then I showed him some Dream Theater and he was just like, why are these songs like 27 minutes long? But yeah,
Yeah,
he's really into grunge as a side note. There's a band
yeah.
from Weymouth where I live called Sad Cult.
Sad cult.
and they have got a really, really big following, but I feel like they are the only ones of their kind this way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what their sort of availability is to travel and stuff, but if they put a gig on, a lot of people seem to make a conscious effort because I don't know what your music scene's like where you are in Manchester, but Weymouth, it feels like it goes through real, like bipolar hot and
Yeah.
cold. And I'm 36 and I've lived here my entire life and I've seen all of it. You know, we've had
Yeah.
bands like Sepultura have come through town. It's been pretty mental sometimes,
Yeah.
but when it's not happening, it's really, really not happening, you know?
Yeah, I get you. To be fair, in
Yeah.
Manchester, there's always a gig or there's always something
Yeah.
going on. So
Mm.
it's like it can be more of a fight, really, to try and get
Yeah.
people through your door.
Yeah. That's an interesting problem to have, isn't it? How long how long has Intake been going as a full band?
Intake's been going since 2023.
Cool.
Yeah, or
Okay.
yeah, just the end of 2023. Yeah, and
So
I
you
joined them about a year after that.
so you decided after COVID to do it because I feel like COVID just killed so many bands and it's such a shame. Some really
Yeah.
talented bands as well.
Mm,
So yeah, awesome. Love that. Right, this is a big, big question. So
hmm.
apologies in advance for dropping this one out of the sky.
It's all right.
As a guitarist, top three albums,
Top three albums.
and they can obviously fluctuate. Like a lot of people ask me what mine are, and mine always fluctuate all the time.
Yeah, I gotta say, Machine Head the Blackening is
Yeah.
definitely one of them. Yeah, that's one of them for me right now. Stephen Wilson's The Overview, his latest album. I do like that one quite a lot. Just two 27-minute long tracks
All
on
right.
one album. Yeah, it's
Okay.
beautiful. And ooh,
Yeah.
is that third one trying to
Yeah. It's always the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Elemental by Tears for Fears.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one album which like I've always enjoyed since I first listened to it.
I'll have to check that out. The second one that you mentioned kind of
Mm.
reminded me of a guy that I listened to a lot called Cloud Kicker.
Oh yeah.
He's a fantastic instrumental guitarist from America. And he sort of blew up on Bandcamp
Hmm.
because they do free Bandcamp Fridays.
Yeah.
And he always set this crazy sort of thing that I suppose in a way influenced a lot of other people to do it, but he was one of the first people I saw do it, which was pay whatever you want
Mm.
for my
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Just if you want to send me 3 quid, if you want to send me 30 quid, whatever. But he did an album called Subsume, and those songs are in like it's almost like one huge song,
Yeah.
and he just cuts it. But like as you know, obviously this whole playlist world that we live in, if you listen
Yeah.
to like two songs and then you listen to a completely different band, it would like really mess your head up because it just doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. So yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'm always interested how bands approach sort of the non-conventional 10 tracks, 55 minutes.
Yeah.
That seems to be like the sort of go-to format, doesn't it? And I like it when people challenge that.
Yeah. Another
Yeah.
good band for that is Bell Witch, a doom metal band.
Heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one song that is like an hour and a half long. It's
Jesus Christ.
proper epic stuff.
How would you even record something like that? That's so fascinating.
I know.
Imagine like getting to 1 minute and 1 hour and 20, sorry, and being like, no, we got to do that again.
Oh God,
The
yeah.
producer's like,
God.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm
Yeah.
getting paid by the hour though, so let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, he's happy with it.
Yeah, yeah, love that, love that. Are there any opportunities or any plans in the future to do like guitar playthroughs or bass playthroughs?
Yes, I've recorded a couple for my solo stuff.
Yeah,
Um, I can't remember if I've got them up on the YouTube yet or not, but I definitely will at some point.
yeah,
And for Intake, we've done some playthrough stuff just for like Instagram Reels and TikTok.
yeah, okay.
but we'll probably release like the full playthroughs at some point soon.
Yeah. Are you finding social media to really sap a lot of your time as a band nowadays in 2026?
It is a huge focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is annoying how much of a key factor it really is because that's all it depends on, and like
Yeah.
we're putting ads out
Yeah, yeah.
as well on Instagram and stuff, trying to get more attention.
Do you find that works, or is that a bit of the placebo effect where you think it's working because you've put a little bit of money behind it?
It it helps the outreach, but I wouldn't say it directly benefits the sort of outcome of it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So it's like you will definitely reach more people, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's people don't really dive into stuff that they don't know very often.
I find on my Instagram, even my personal Instagram, if I put like two stories up, they'll get about 65 views. If I put eight stories up, they'll get about 11 views each.
Yeah.
And you'll almost see this downturn like a stock market
Mm,
where people just don't care about the seventh or eighth story. You could put anything up.
yeah.
I like Kanye West. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You don't. Oh dear. Please sponsor me Pepsi, even though I'm drinking Coke, because they pulled out
Yeah.
recently of his festival, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Apparently he's not allowed in the UK or something.
No,
Crazy,
yeah,
crazy
it's
world.
yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. So, as a spectator for music, being
Mm,
in Manchester, is that the sort of utopia? Are you happy with that? And it does feel a bit like bands come to the UK to play Glasgow,
mm,
Manchester, and London, and then they
yeah.
just dip. And I'm like, please come to Bristol or Southampton. Like, I
Yeah.
promise you'll sell out because you've got
Yeah.
to starve the audience, obviously. But how do you find it sort of day to day as a spectator rather than a musician?
It's great, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good fun because like being able to go to so many different gigs,
Hmm.
whether paying for them or even free ones that are going on, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Are you able to go to a gig and switch off, or do you feel like you need to sort of give out business cards or say, hey man, I'm in a band as well. I'd love to, because I know what
Oh,
that's like. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I don't focus anything on business when I do
Yeah.
that stuff. Like if I'll only mention it if it sort of comes through conversation with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it feels a bit at the moment like everyone's just a walking billboard for their own brand.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to sell a course or, they're wearing their own shirts and
Yeah.
yeah, it can get a bit toxic, I suppose is the word, and a bit sort of
Yeah.
everyone's just trying to constantly self-promote, which, that's one of the reasons that this podcast has done quite well, is because I promote it at every opportunity I get. But
Yeah.
I recently went to a drum festival in Weymouth, which was the first
Oh
of its
yeah.
kind. And I did drop my name in a couple of times to some of the performers, but I really went there with an open mind of like, I'm not gonna just like try and book all these people. If it happens, it
Yeah.
happens. Let's let the water flow, sort of thing. But it was
Yeah.
almost like a sort of cinema experience.
Mm.
It was like you were sat down watching someone play like a drum solo, and
Yeah.
then they would be walking around the venue. So if you don't speak to them, then it's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
you've
Missed
got to make
opportunity.
yourself, you've got to make yourself visible nowadays.
Yeah.
There's the whole 6 degrees of separation. I really do
Mm.
genuinely believe that. What's Manchester like for small venues versus arenas?
There is a lot of small venues about, which is really nice. It's just we've just having the trouble of keeping them open, really. We've lost three venues in the past 2 years, just because there is like no money coming in,
Yeah,
and well, there's not enough money coming in for these
yeah,
places to be able to stay open sustainably.
yeah. That was always my dream to open a music venue or a music studio, but
Yeah.
just the sheer stress of everything, I think, would tip me over the edge. You've
Yeah.
almost got to turn your venue into something else, like during the day.
Yeah,
You
it's got to be a mix of
diversify.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that a lot with pubs now as well, that they're bars and restaurants. And
Yeah.
then at 7 p.m. they turn into a nightclub or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Right, next question. Favorite film? Or you can have
Favorite
two.
film.
One's hard.
Yeah. Ooh. Long time favorite, I'd say The Lost Boys. I absolutely love that film. My dad showed me that one. And like I get a lot of my sort of like entertainment taste from him.
Yeah.
So I grew up on all that sort of like
Mm,
80s and 90s era stuff, which is
mm.
great. But yeah, I'd say The Lost Boys for a long time. But more recently, I'd say uh Avatar.
Okay.
Yeah, that is I just it's again like with the sort of the long format,
Yeah.
just being able to get like lost in a story,
Mm,
even if like Avatar is like a very simple story. It's just
yeah.
a big spectacle, and I really enjoy it.
Mm. Have you heard about Avatar depression?
Yes.
Where people are so sad that there's not a real thing. Pandora doesn't really
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah. Honestly, it was all over my social media
Yeah, yeah.
after I watched the first one.
I actually think they're really decent films. I feel like I could probably watch all of them in one day.
Oh
I
yeah.
really, really liked, was it The Way of Water?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
there's like a tribal difference to their appearance and they've got different sort of skills. I
Yeah.
really, really liked that.
Yeah. It was a great film. I
Yeah.
watched the third one in the cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a proper good experience.
I think is The Way of Water the second one.
Yeah.
So I watched that with my ex-girlfriend and I said, "Who's that person?" Because I just didn't know who one of the characters was because it's been a while since I watched the first one. And
Yeah.
she literally looked at me and said, "You need to shut the fuck up now. Like, stop talking to me. I'm trying to watch a film." And
Yeah.
it's a bit like if you went straight to watching Avengers Endgame and not
Oh
knowing
yeah.
who any of the characters were. It was a bit like that. I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
Went to the toilet and had a cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to know your boundaries in the cinema.
Yeah.
Whatever a bloody cinema is nowadays, they seem to have gone down as well, don't they?
Yeah.
Right. Favorite animal noise.
Ooh. Honestly, my favorite animal is a gibbon.
The funky gibbon.
Yeah,
Like they are just such funny little animals and they're so adorable.
yeah.
Yeah. But my favorite animal
Mm.
noise, that's a good one.
You could give you a
I
bit of
think I've like
inspo.
go on.
Mine's the honk of a goose.
Yeah.
There's something about that. It's quite scary, but also quite exciting at the same time when you hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can have a couple answers for this.
yeah,
Could I do that?
of course.
I would probably say like a pigeon noise,
Hmm.
like when it's cooing, like
Yeah,
because that's sort of like a nostalgic sort of sound.
yeah,
And then the other one, it's purely because like it's so weird. It's like a frog noise.
yeah,
Like when they like do like their defense scream.
yeah, yeah.
It's like they just come out with this like strangest noises, and I just find it so funny.
Pigeons are really interesting when you've got kids
Yeah.
because a lot of kids go, "Oh, why are the pigeons fighting?" Actually, they're courting
Yeah.
each other and flirting with each other.
Yeah.
But it just seems so raw and savage the way that there's no date night in Pigeon World, let's put it that way.
No, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Favorite video game?
Oh,
Yeah.
I fell in love with Doom Eternal when that came
Yeah.
out. Yeah. That is like growing up on like the FPS style games of like Halo and Call of Duty.
Yeah.
When that came out, like especially just the soundtrack to it as well. It was absolute. I absolutely love that game.
Yeah. I think I've got the email address for the guy that made Doom. I
Oh
think
yeah.
I've got it. Let's check. John Romero. So his wife actually runs his life for him, basically.
Yeah.
It's a lady called Rebecca.
Hmm.
But I don't think I've got this weird thing where I like go on this hunt to find this email address and then I just don't reach out because I'm just like I can't
Yeah.
handle the rejection.
Yeah, it's intimidating, isn't
But
it?
I found that through a guy called Tommy. Oh, what's his actual? His surname's really hard to pronounce. It's like Tommy Clear,
Hmm.
and he did something called Gamer Tag Stories, and it was
Right.
like, tell me about your origin of your gamer tag. So mine's like BG 1989 because it's my initials and my birth year.
Yeah.
And I think he actually published a book, and he got John Romero to like write something in it as like a
Hmm.
chapter in the book. I was like, fucking hell, that's quite mad. But
That's
yeah,
cool, that.
watched Netflix. They did a documentary about Doom, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what that's called. I feel like that might be a bit of an all-encompassing because I think they talk about Tetris.
Hmm.
Did you ever hear about the ET game?
No.
So they had this huge enterprise deal. I think it was with Sega,
Yeah.
and one person made ET the game, and it's known as one of the worst games ever made.
Oh, dear.
And the reason it was one of the worst games ever made was because it was made in 4 months.
Four
And
months.
if they didn't make it in that time because the deadline was looming, then they'd lose all of the funding for the game. But it's just
Jeez.
this absolute buggy nightmare. Yeah, that was like proper like Sega sort of Atari era.
Hmm. Yeah.
What's your favorite video game console?
Video game console always always will be Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started off on the Wii and I did have a PlayStation 2.
Hmm.
And I had a Nintendo 3DS as well, but the Xbox 360 was like the desirable thing at that
Yeah.
time. And like that's where I proper went into it, playing Minecraft, Terraria,
Yeah, yeah,
Halo.
yeah. Have you heard of a game called Onimusha?
No, I haven't.
So that's a samurai game that Capcom made, and it was kind of like Resident Evil meets Devil May Cry type.
All right.
It's really good. I genuinely
Yeah.
think it's one of the best, like, as a franchise, it was a very successful sort of Eastern sort of war era. Um, Lots of demons to fight, lots of souls to suck up, and things like that.
Yeah. Nice.
But I accidentally came across my PlayStation 2 collection recently because I moved house.
Yeah.
And I lost my mind because I just, like when you move and you put stuff in the attic, you don't realize that you've still got the possessions.
Yeah.
And I found something like 400 of my old band's guitar picks.
Damn.
And I was like, fucking hell, these have never seen the light of day. But yeah, I had all of the Onimusha games, and a lot of them are PS2.
Yeah.
So I might have to try and find a PS2 because trying to mess about with all these emulators and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Just find it so stressful. I really, really want to get an N64 again as well. I
Yeah.
think the N64 is such a fantastic console.
Yeah. And there's something about that era of console, isn't there?
The cartridge.
Yeah.
And if the cartridge doesn't work, you take it out and blow it.
Oh, oh yeah! Oh my god! Oh yeah!
Yeah.
And then
Get rid of
everything's
the
fine.
dust.
I'll tell you what
Yeah.
though, the N64 still holds up in my opinion because there's very little loading.
Yeah.
It's really quite something. I know obviously nowadays we're in the PS5, soon to be PS6 era.
Yeah.
But, sometimes when you're running between worlds in something like Spyro,
Mm.
it like lags a bit, doesn't it? And there's a chance that it might
Yeah.
crash the game, and that would be horrendous.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
remember playing a SpongeBob game on my PlayStation 2. And
Yeah.
as soon as I get to a certain point of the level, then the
Yeah.
game would just crash.
Yeah. Developers didn't get paid enough. They just
Yeah.
stopped working. That'll
Yeah.
do. Awesome.
Hello, one and all. Fancy seeing you here. I just want to take a second to promote a product that's quite dear to my heart. I'm very pleased to announce that the podcast is now an affiliate for Vocal Zone. As a podcaster, as someone that wants to make this a part of my life, my voice, the ability to maintain my voice for a steady period of time as I record these episodes, make sure that it's in the most tip-top condition it can possibly be, is absolutely essential. For me to do this every single week means that I need some help. So Vocal Zone have come along and they've absolutely smashed it. I'm a huge fan of Vocal Zone. I'm a huge fan of their pastels. And they don't just make pastels, they also make tea and they make throat spray. Throat spray is a really interesting one because typically with tea and pastels you have to actually sort of eat it or digest it and then it kicks in. Throat spray is pretty instant. It's really, really good. I can't recommend it enough. They are specifically formulated to relieve irritation from excessive speaking or singing to help you keep a clear voice. They have been doing this since 1912. And some of the most iconic artists of all time have relied on these products. One of the things that sets Vocal Zone apart is that they do not contain any anaesthetic that could potentially mask any underlying vocal damage. So you're not going to unknowingly sing or podcast yourself into more issues. The blend of ingredients is pretty unique. I must say, so is the taste. When you take one of these, I cannot explain to you how good your throat suddenly feels. There's this real sense of euphoria when you eat one of these. And they do a honey one, guys. Honey, like this boy. So yeah, if you're looking for a confidence boosting product that won't break the bank, please consider supporting the show and supporting Vocal Zone using the website. This will take you to a affiliate link and you'll get 10% off everything on their store. Please check out Vocal Zone. They do a lot for the local community around them and I can't think of any product better to keep your throat and your voice in the best possible shape it can be.
Absolute bedlam. Pick it up where we left off. Are you much of a festival goer?
Um, I've just started to actually
Yeah.
since 2024, but more in the aspect of working. So I work on the bars at Bloodstock Festival.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, which is nice because I
Yeah,
still get to see the bands perform whilst I'm
yeah, yeah,
working, and then like when I'm off shift, obviously
yeah.
I get to go out and just enjoy the festival as normal.
Yeah, because one of my sponsors, Vocal Zone, is part of the Bloodstock Press, and they've
Yeah,
got their own trading area. And yeah, there's a lot to that festival. I feel like it might be one of my golden goose things to
yeah,
be able to go there as a press person and speak to bands like Trivium and, who else is there?
yeah.
Speak to Sleep Token, maybe not. Um, awesome. Is there any festivals that you're keen to try and get on the lineup for, no matter how small?
Ooh. Um, I would like to play No Play Festival again. We did that last year because a band dropped out and
Okay.
they called us up to come fill in for them,
Yeah.
which was really really sweet.
Yeah.
But to be able to play that festival again would be great.
Are you in talks with the person that puts that on now? Because you've kind of done them a bit of a favor now, haven't you, for filling
Yeah,
in?
yeah, we played a few gigs for No Play under just like the standard promotion
Hmm.
label. So we're definitely familiar with
Yeah.
each other now, which is great.
I'd say if I don't know what your travel is like, but there's a band this way. There's a festival this way that have got plenty of upcoming bands called Takedown Festival.
I've heard of that
It's
one.
quite a
Yeah.
big festival, but they seem to have like 4 or 5 stages. It used to be at Southampton University,
Hmm.
but now it's in Portsmouth. It's the Guildhall.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
really, really decent sized venue. But I think you just got to put your name in the hat and see what comes out the other side, haven't you? Even if it's like doing a battle of the bands
Yeah.
and getting the chance to, yeah, it's worth just giving it a shot, isn't it? See what happens, obviously, depending on your availability and stuff. And can your band sort of travel, like intake specifically?
Yeah, yeah, we can definitely travel. Only got one car at the moment, so it's a bit
Okay.
of a squeeze, but
Yeah.
it definitely will be a lot easier once we start getting our own cars as well.
One car goes hard because if you've had the best gig of your life, it's the best thing in the world. If you're
Yeah,
not playing the best gig of your life, it could be a bit sad.
yeah. Especially when you've
Yeah.
got five guitars stacked on top of you
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
back seats.
Oh man, the amount of times I've had something like this. I'll show you quickly
Yeah.
my bass. The amount of times I've had this in a hard case up against me, about 3 hours away from where I'm, in
Oh,
a fucking
yeah.
massive Ibanez hard case, literally
Yeah.
pressed up against my legs. And I think to myself, like, if I need to go to the toilet now, this is a genuine problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what we do though, isn't it, as musicians, to we really do sort of strive or we'll fall apart.
Yeah, it's just got to keep on going through it.
Yeah. What's the best gig you've played in your career so far?
Best gig I've played.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'd probably say our EP release gig is probably that's definitely one of them because it was just packed out and we got to just play through the EP, play through a couple of newer songs, and we let there be an opportunity for other bands to come up and play a couple songs as well.
All right.
So yeah, I that was a very very fun vibe, and there was
Hmm.
just so many people there. It was great.
Hmm.
But I'd probably
Yeah.
say like the other close contender would be Academy 3. We were one of the support acts for that gig, and like even though there wasn't many people there, it was just the fact that it was that venue, and I know so many bands who have played there who have like been going for like 20 years strong,
Yeah.
and it just felt so amazing to actually be on that stage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's nice to get a bit of acknowledgement and yeah, it's nice to potentially meet people as well that you know, you've heard their CD so much that the film's fallen off
Yeah.
or your phone's broken from listening to it on
Yeah.
Spotify so much. I don't know. Don't know what the equivalent is nowadays, but
No.
yeah, it's cool. I find festivals to be really like fun because if you go backstage, there's
Mm.
this real like preconceived notion from a non-musician's perspective that everyone's like getting pissed up and getting like proper on it, and actually
Yeah.
everyone's on their phones or their laptops.
Yeah.
And it's really funny to like show people that side of the industry where people are just like scheduling Facebook posts and
Yeah.
actually not that exciting. There's no TVs going out the windows, you know what I mean?
No.
But yeah, awesome. On the flip side of the best gig, what's the worst gig you've played?
Oh, worst gig.
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't think I've ever had one that would be in like sort of incredibly like bad per se,
Yeah.
but I'd probably put it as one of like my earliest ones. Say it was probably at like the Pear Hat in Manchester. Just like when I was early on in the band still. So because I was still like
Yeah.
working through all the parts and forgetting stuff. So it was just a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. I've definitely had gigs that I've thought to myself, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
why are we playing a skittle alley? But that genuinely to me at least, as someone that used to play quite a lot, I don't play bass that much now, but that is genuinely just your mindset.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason why playing a floor show to 300 people can't be the best gig you've ever played.
Yeah,
But if you go into that room thinking this is going to be crap, I haven't rehearsed enough, I haven't practiced enough in my own world, it really is like being in a band's so interesting because it's like 4 or 5 people and you all have to be so like interlinked and so yeah, and being able to sort of go into writing mode and
yeah,
locking in and actually getting a rehearsal down once a week or whatever you do.
yeah,
Even that can be tricky, getting everyone in the same area at the same time.
yeah, and
Yeah,
getting on the same schedule and sort of all being in that yeah, as you said, the same mindset for it. Yeah.
yeah. Have you got any sort of, what's the word? It's not hesitation. Have you got any reasons why you couldn't take a band like Intake to like a crazy level? Is there anyone in the band that's like about to have kids or they're going to go to university and that's obviously going to geographically challenge you guys? Is there any reason why you can't be the next big thing?
Um, Only as of right now is because we are all at university.
Yeah.
And I think a couple of us are going to go on and do masters.
Okay.
So that would, slow down
Yeah.
the schedule, you could say. But I'm sort of the mindset as it's like we try to fit in as much as we can around it. Um, but it'll probably be the same sort of mindset when we're in the big world of work.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anyone in Intake that really goes the extra mile and some people kind of just go, oh, I'm going to play drums or there's always someone in a band that seems to do a hell of a lot more than other people, and they're emailing booking agents and
Yeah,
you're trying to get some merch and stuff like that. Is there anyone like that in your band? Don't want
yeah.
to cause any gossip.
No, yeah. But Will, the drummer, he definitely does the most.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. He's hands-on with getting the recording stuff,
Yeah.
like contacting different
Mm.
promoters and stuff, and yeah, and doing all the merch. Like he is the most hands-on in terms of all that stuff. And
Okay.
Aaron, the bassist, is like I don't know how he does it, but he's got songs coming out of every angle
Okay.
possible, and it's amazing.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's just sometimes it's trying to piece the riffs together and make a whole song.
Yeah,
That was definitely something that I always struggled with, is I could pick up a bass and like write something that was like a pre-chorus.
yeah,
But then I'm like, how does this actually interlink into a verse or a breakdown or an outro? And I
yeah.
need other people around me to like glue it all together. I've got like one puzzle
Yeah,
piece.
yeah. That's the exact same problem I have. I've
Yeah,
got so many different
yeah,
audio files of just like a 10-second riff, and that's it.
yeah, yeah. Do you think that's like changed now that everyone's got access to phones and like they've essentially got like a dictation device on them constantly, haven't they? I
Yeah,
imagine your drafts and my notes are insane because I schedule guests for this, but I would like if I was a singer, for example, I would just have hundreds and hundreds of notes on my phone of like song ideas and lyrics.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I've got honestly too many to count, and
yeah,
some of them are just like a couple lyric lines, and others are like 5 songs in each that I've just written down.
yeah, yeah,
Like it is a maze.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. Awesome. We got some this or that ones.
hmm
Then I'm going to open the floor up to you, and then we'll promote, and then we will carry on with our lives and continue talking. Cool. So, camping in a tent or a static caravan for 1 week, what would you rather do?
Ooh, I've done both,
Yeah.
but I absolutely love camping.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the full on outdoors aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah. No, fair enough. Would you rather live in a city or live in the countryside?
Definitely the countryside. quiet, away from people and around nature is just
Yeah.
exactly what I want.
Think it helps the creative juices as well. Obviously, I don't know whereabouts in Manchester you are, but sometimes it can feel a bit like a concrete jungle, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm just like on like the edge of the city centre, so it is
Okay.
still just
Yeah, yeah.
like manic all the time.
Yeah, I get so overstimulated when it's like that constantly for me.
Yeah,
Chocolate or sweets?
definitely chocolate.
Good stuff. Bath or shower?
Oh, shower because they're just quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mornings or evenings to do stuff, to be productive?
definitely evenings because it takes me about 2 hours to get properly awake.
Yeah. I actually think I'm going to buy a analog alarm clock in my new
Mm,
house because
yeah,
the second I wake up, I'm on my phone, and I
yeah.
hate that. But the only way to sort that is to actually go back a bit in time. And yeah, mornings are tricky for me.
Yeah,
Now I need
same
to
here.
sort of drive to work as well because I used to be able to walk to work because I was quite really, really close to it.
Yeah.
Mario or Sonic?
Oh, Mario, definitely.
Fair enough. Apple juice or orange juice?
Apple juice all the way.
Correct answer.
Yep.
Favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit? Blackberries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't think I've had
Uh,
that before. Yeah.
yeah, I just the taste of them is great and like you're able to find them out in the wild
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, there's lots of bushes in Weymouth that you can just go with like a Tupperware container and just go mental.
Yeah.
Good times. Weirdest place you've ever slept in your life?
Weirdest place I've ever slept? That is a good question.
I don't know if it's a good question. It's just a weird question.
Yeah. But the weirdest one would probably like after a night out, I
Yeah,
stayed over at like just someone's house. Like my the mate that I went with knew them, but I had no idea who they were.
yeah, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
Um, what else have I got? When you take the bins out, this will probably apply to you because student life.
yeah.
Do you know what bin you need to take out on what day slash week, or do you follow what your neighbours do? So essentially, what I'm asking you is, are you a binfluencer?
Ooh. I yeah, I have no idea.
That's
I
fair.
will just yeah, if I see somebody taking their bins out, I'm like, okay, better take mine out as well.
Yeah, you hear the wheels
Yeah.
going down the road, and you're like, oh, I need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Um, are you a fan of the paranormal? Have you experienced anything paranormal at all?
I am I do and like sort of have a big interest in that stuff. I grew up on watching like Ghost Adventures
Yeah, yeah.
quite a lot, but I don't know. I suppose I could say that I've had a few weird things,
Hmm.
but obviously it is one of them where it's like, can you prove it or not?
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. I think when you're in a group, it can feel a bit more like you're part of something.
Yes,
Whereas if you're
definitely.
completely by yourself, you'll start questioning your mental state or something like that,
Yeah.
and you'll think, "Oh, I'm just tired. I didn't just see a head float across the
Yeah.
room." Um, any questions for me at all? Anything you want to ask me? I've been doing a podcast for 6 years. I've probably had the question before,
Yeah.
but let's get oversharing. Anything for me at all?
What is that? You mentioned you were in a band.
Yeah,
How was that for you?
I've probably been in 8 or 9 bands. Um, so long story short, I wanted to be a guitarist,
Mm,
tried to play guitar for a while, and I just gave up because I just didn't feel like I was progressing.
mm,
So then I picked up bass, and everyone wanted a piece of me because
yeah.
finding a decent drummer and a decent bassist that are actually reliable and they're not just going to ditch you the second there's another opportunity available
Yeah.
Around this way, at least, it is really, really hard to find someone that's solid. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved it. I'd say it was probably more of a positive experience than a negative, and it really helped
Yeah.
my confidence.
Mm.
The only thing I will say is, in hindsight, I would have been a lot more selective with the gigs that I went because I was always booking gigs. I was always in charge of the band, in air quotes.
Yeah.
I was always trying to get endorsements and getting PR people. I was like, if I'm going to do this, then let's actually really have a bite of the apple, and why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wish I was a bit more selective because there's been some gigs. My sort of longest tenure in a band was a band called Desert Rose.
Mm.
And we played so many just awful gigs.
Yeah.
And like some of them, man, were like Wednesday nights in Croydon
Mm.
to no one.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why the fuck have we done that? And obviously, logistically, you've got to hire a van.
Mm.
That's gonna cost money. You earn 30 quid maybe.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make that money back. And I just had this horrible sort of feeling sometimes that the promoters just didn't really care.
Yeah.
And I was like, surely, you should care more than anyone else about this gig being a success.
Yeah.
But maybe that was just me being in it for too long.
Mm.
I was always super jealous of bands that would like show up, open, leave. Like there's
Yeah.
a sort of ignorance is bliss to that. Whereas it got to
Mm.
the stage where we were like main support and headlining, and the amount of times I would like lend my gear out to people
Mm.
and
Yeah.
they'd put like a pint glass on my head and I'd just be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like that
Yeah.
costs more than what I've earned this year, bro. Like get
Yeah.
your fucking Fosters off my amp.
Yeah. I've seen that too many times.
Yeah. But I
Uh,
really, really enjoyed the networking side of it. I felt like I was
yeah.
quite naturally talented at that. I
Mm.
also really liked playing bass. Like, I
Yeah.
really actually enjoyed playing bass. And I liked the idea that I would always have to, at least once a week, I'd have to just go through our set list
Yeah.
from beginning to end. Because one of the things that used to really annoy me with all the bands that I've been in is a lot of drummers, especially because of the physical space of everything. They would only be able to practice at the rehearsals.
Yeah.
And that used to really wind me up because it goes back to the guitar thing for me of the progression.
Yeah.
You want to go into the studio ready versus catching up and chasing your tail all the time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I
But yeah,
understand that.
overall, I had a really good time. Um,
Nice.
I wish that we earned a bit more money. I realized
Yeah.
very quickly that original bands do not get paid a lot of money.
No, it's yeah, it's
It's a bit of a
annoying
slog, isn't it?
to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was good fun. Probably
Yeah.
about 13 years, I reckon, in total, being in various
Nice.
different things. Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah.
Um, what's the one feature about yourself that you like the most?
Ooh. I'm gonna say my beard
Okay.
because I get complimented on it quite a lot,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I started growing my beard like very early on. Like I remember like being 14 and walking around with sideburns.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah. And so that's just always been a very distinctive feature of
yeah,
me is having the beard and
yeah,
sort of like if I was to shave it off, I would be terrified.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not going to partake in Movember then, where you shave all your facial hair off.
No, no,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
keep it growing.
Awesome. This is a bit of a deep one to sort of kind of end on, but I've thought of
Mhm.
this recently, and I think this is actually a really good question. Is there anything currently in your life, music or personal, that you're currently putting off that you need to do, but you just can't be fucking bothered? Because I'm really bad. I've just, like I've said several times, that I've just moved house and
Yeah.
I am fucking lazy. I'll just leave it on the side because
Yeah.
I've got no one to like tell me now. Like, I'm
Mm.
free. I can do whatever I
Yeah.
want. I can eat McDonald's every night. And then I check
Yeah.
my bank and cry.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I suppose it would be getting a band behind my solo project.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's that's definitely the thing. I've tried to do it before, but it's the even if it wouldn't end up like that, it's the initial factor of I'm leading this thing. I've got
Yeah,
to group together like three or four other people into all being involved with this one thing, and it's just so intimidating to face that I'm just like, you know what? I'll just leave it and just
yeah,
keep making the music by myself.
yeah, I know what you mean. I think there's this constant fear of like, kind of like Dave Grohl and Foo Fighters, where it's like, that's not how I imagined it would sound.
Yeah.
I'll just do it. And then
Mm.
obviously, you get called a control freak. But when it's your own solo music, your own
Yeah.
solo stuff, it's like it actually needs to be what's in your head, doesn't it?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
sometimes finding musicians that can complement that. Not only do you want them to play the music, but you want them to enhance the music and, you know, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
exactly.
I'm sure you'll find people. I imagine Manchester's got a lot of musicians and lots of notice boards and
Yeah.
lots of post-it notes all over the gaff. Yeah,
Oh
awesome.
yeah, there's always posters up.
Yeah, yeah. Last question. Is there
hmm
anything that you want to promote with any of your projects? What's 2026 looking like for you?
2026. So the well, intake are back in the studio again now.
Yeah,
So hopefully it's looking like we're gonna have another EP out by the end of the year. We've got a single hopefully coming out in a few weeks' time, which we haven't announced just yet, but it'll be it'll be exciting when that comes out. Um, Soon we're gonna have a sort of Spinal Tap style video we did. That's
yeah,
going to be coming out soon. And the band Siren I'm sessioning for, that
yeah.
we're going to be going in the studio about summertime as well.
Awesome. Hmm. Lots to be excited about then.
Oh yes.
That's good. Yeah, you got to keep yourself floating around nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, going on hiatus and stuff usually seems to mean one thing, which is,
Mm.
the inevitable downfall of everything. And from what I've heard from Intake specifically, I really like it.
Thank
It's
you.
genuinely quite sort of refreshing to hear the sort of grunge genre sort of weirdly making a bit of a comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, I'll leave you to it. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Yes, thank you very much for this.
And when this comes out, I'll send it over to you. So that's
Bro.
usually how podcasts work.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Thanks for watching,
Awesome.
guys. Sorry that I sound so nasally. I probably shouldn't have recorded tonight. But the show's got to keep going. And
Yep.
if I don't do it, no one else is going to do it for me. So, but yeah, thank you for your time. Appreciate it,
Thank
James.
you very
I'll speak to
much.
you soon.
Yes. Speak to you soon, man.
Cheers, guys.